And
Very
up
good.
and away we go. It's great to
Thank
meet you.
you.
Thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. So I always start my conversation with COVID. 5 years ago, everything was changing.
Ooh,
How did you get through that era, and how has it influenced what you do today?
wow, that's great. I've never been asked that question. How did I get through that? Oh man, it was a crazy day. That Friday, March 16th, I was supposed to be in California, heading there for a wedding, and I had a big project due the next week, and I was working in the office not far from home, and I said to my husband, "We can't get on that plane today. I cannot be stuck in California and not get back for this project next week."
Yeah.
I also had twins that were seniors. And so their whole senior year was disrupted. They ended up seniors in high school. We didn't have prom, we didn't have graduation, their internships were canceled. I came home and had a makeshift office put together, and it was different. The at first I didn't love it. I am a big believer in kind of getting in a room and whiteboarding together, kind of old school. I came around to enjoying it, and now certainly 5 years later, I'm accustomed to working remotely, and I think we have figured it out. I do think that how we work today, we haven't yet found a balance. There's companies that are still fully remote. There's companies that are demanding return to office. I think the hybrid answer is the best solution, that
Yeah.
there's a time and place. We know that we've seen the studies that people are happier when they're working remotely, but the employers are not because, frankly, they don't trust the staff are being productive. And I think leaders sometimes have a false sense of busy when they see activity in an office, when we know that there's a lot of water cooler talk, there's a lot of in the hallway, there's a lot of moving around that doesn't equate to productivity. Um, and therefore, the hybrid answer where we're productive but get together meaningfully to collaborate is really important. So that is what I encourage my clients to do, is to find that balance, because certainly we want to keep our employees happy.
Yeah.
That's when they're going to be the most productive and want to stay with us, not when we have demanded they come back to office and they have to go back to finding daycare or getting their kids to school,
Yeah.
and losing that productivity because of commute and getting dressed and the cost of dry cleaning and gas that all went away.
Yeah.
So it's still a crazy time, I think,
Yeah.
trying to figure out the balance.
I totally get it. So there's a lot going on with titles and with work that you do, but if we boiled it down and I put you in front of a bunch of kids at a school, it's career day, they're 12 and they want to know what you do for a living, how do you answer them?
Yeah, I just had this experience and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I tell them I run businesses. So I focus on founder-led businesses and really enjoy small businesses that are founder-led. Those owners have so much on their plates: responsibility, experience, thought leadership, and they cannot get everything done that they need to get done. So I come in and I take things off their plate and I'll say, I've got that. I've got that. And I move forward and I execute getting that work done. I don't give them more ideas that they have to take on and put more work on their plate. I get it done and they never have to look back and wonder whether it's done successfully or not. That's what I do. And many of the fractional executives that I work with do that. We are, you don't have to worry about it. I got it. Next time we talk, I'm going to tell you it's done and I met your objective.
So what did you want to be when you were a kid? When you were 12 years old, what was your dream job?
I was designing wedding dresses. I don't think I knew what I was going to be. My dad told me I was going to be an attorney with him.
Okay.
I don't think I was 100% convinced that that's what I was going to be.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a great student, so I'll be honest, I didn't really figure out what I wanted to be until a couple of years ago when I started this company.
Okay. But there were elements early on, our formative memories early on. I mean, like our personality is by three. There's all these things. What were the elements very early on in your life, the seeds that were planted that got you to have this business acumen, this level
Yeah.
of loving what you do? How did this happen?
Yeah. I was creating things and designing things and coming up with business ideas as a young child.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you asked me this because I'm writing my third book, Owner Mindset. And I'm trying to distill, is the owner mindset, this entrepreneurial spirit born within us, or is it learned?
Uh-huh.
And I personally can't do that. So I'm interviewing, I can't discern that for myself because my parents were entrepreneurs and also very creative. And then my step parents were entrepreneurs. So I have been in family business since I was born.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer yet. So I interview people to try and find this out. And I know that though I had this great idea when I was a child that I would see my mom laboring over cleaning the windows, and I was like, that's horrible. And I thought about the defrost that was on the window of the car, our old Monte Carlo. No seatbelts,
Uh-huh. Of course.
right? Climbing in the back seat.
Yeah.
Um, I could envision the defrost, and I thought if that can take care of frost on the window, why can't there just be that in the house windows that's
Mhm.
sort of like a self-cleaning oven concept for windows? And I told my mom about it, and she probably was like, "Oh, that's a nice idea, honey. Go play." And then in college, I wrote L'Oreal manufacturing, and I'm a little miffed about this too. I didn't know about trademarking, even though I was in college, and I mailed them my idea and they
Wow.
took it.
Wow.
And that was the concept of having, there's like cleansing cloths and cleansing Q-tips that have the chemical that are dried on the ends of a washcloth or Q-tips. And I said, we should take Q-tips and put the makeup remover on the ends of the Q-tips so that somebody can clean their under eye makeup
Huh?
and just wet it and make that happen because I don't want to carry Q-tips and the solution and have that spill in my bag. I just need to clean up my makeup every now and then. And I got a nice letter back from L'Oreal that said, "Thank you for the idea. That's not in our pathway right now." And I didn't think anything of it. Now we know there's all kinds of those products. So, I've been inventing for a long time. I met my husband when we were 18 and he said, "Hey, I love to make t-shirts." I was like, "I love to make money and build businesses. Let's start a little t-shirt thing." So we did that on our college campus at 18.
Wow.
And then that's what our business was for many years, a promotional products company doing screen printing and embroidery. So I don't know. It's
Wow.
always been in me. I love building, growing. And before we started recording, we talked about creativity.
Yeah.
For me, even though I can't get ideas from my head to my hands to paint or draw, creating business ideas and business plans and bringing a product to fruition, whether it's a service or a product, is a form of creativity that
It's
is
art.
really my outlet.
It's artwork. It absolutely is artwork because there's so many people that don't have that business idea. They can't do that. They can't bring it to
Yeah.
fruition. It's interesting that nature nurture thing, especially when you're a parent, you wonder that because when you see your kids, they do things that mimic you, and you're like, I didn't show them that. I wasn't a part of that, right? And it was just that apple falling from the tree. And that's the age-old question of us as we figure out what the meaning of life is and all of these seminal things that make us human in this experience here. But I think a part of it is how did these things develop and evolve into who we are? And I think it's always going to be a mystery. It's kind of like COVID. Like, why did they get it and I did? I got it, they didn't get it. We were in the same room, or they got it two or
Right.
three times and I got it once. And they
Yeah.
get vaccinated all the time, but they're still getting it. This person, it was chronic. They were in ICU for 2 or 3 months.
Ooh.
I had a little cough. It's the mystery of life. Like all of these biological viral things kind of mimic how we
Yeah.
live and how it all works socially and environmentally,
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
To your point about showing our kids, we're obviously role modeling to our kids. So as I said, I have identical twin girls. One is a nurse,
Yeah.
and she has already started taking nutrition and personal training courses on the side because she wants to start her own little thing. She's in labor and delivery and wants to be a nutritionist and personal trainer for mothers to be. The other one's an interior decorator. And I said, you should just start your own business. I
Yeah.
mean, thinking, why not? That's what I would do. She started her first job out of college. It's been about a year and a half. And she came home the first week or two. She was like, "Mom, they could do this so much better. And they're losing money here. And there's this inefficiency." And I crossed my arms. I was like, "You should start your own business." And she
Yeah.
said, "No, I don't want to start my own business. I want to be with these people and I'm just going to do this and grow and learn." And she came a few weeks later and I said, "I'm giving you 5 years.
Yeah.
The comments that you're saying, this is why
True.
people start their own business. I can do it better, faster, cheaper, with better quality, whatever the case may be. I'm going to give you 5 years." Well, she came home recently and she said, "I'm starting a wedding planning business, Mom."
There you go. That's it.
I said, have at it, kid.
Yep. That's
I'm here to support you.
Yep. That's the bane of being a parent or being on this planet longer than other people is you just see it, but you can't transmute that. You just have to experience it. You have to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It takes a
I
little.
love it.
That's
I love
great.
it. I'm thrilled for her that she's looking at a job that is AI proof. We know that the it is a concern as a business leader. I'm doing some work in AI, and I'm saying to leaders, hey, stop saying AI is taking over entry level jobs. Leaders are eliminating entry level jobs. That's a
Right.
decision that we are making
Right.
because we want to save money or whatever. And we have a choice as to how we're going to let that unfold. And do we want all of our young people to not have entry level jobs? As an HR person, I don't. I want people to have an entry level job and learn how to be a manager and learn how to grow in the ecosystem of the corporate world. And if we eliminate those entry level jobs, we're going to be in a difficult place with
Yeah.
not having leader. We're just going to have a bunch of bodies walking around, nobody learning how to lead each other as people move on. So the jobs that are going to be successful moving forward and be able to sustain AI, excuse me, are those that are very human centric that need on-site human touch. Electricians, plumbers, people maybe that work in a grocery store or uh, um, in this case, a wedding planner. A wedding planner is going to have to be on site
Yeah.
coordinating
Hmm.
humans, moving them around for an event. And so I'm really pleased that she's come up with something that's very creative in alignment with what she learned, and she can apply those skills.
Yeah.
But it's going to be AI proof because I think that's where we need to look. And certainly the nurses, AI proof.
Well, before we got on, I was talking about this is one of my originals and I do artwork and I've started to do digital and to me going up against AI, I will generate AI images and then I will manipulate it with my human touch. So I'm
Very
going
good.
right head to head with AI. If you want to act like you're going to replace me, I'll play the game. So let's do it. So let me ask you this. Who's been that inspirational force for you in your life? For you to find your place, to find your career place, and overall, who's been that for you?
I have so many.
Yeah,
I'm really blessed. I could list each of my parents, as I said, that are role models. My mom is the strongest woman that I know and has really survived a lot. My husband, I've been with him since I was 18, his positive attitude and even if he gets knocked down, he's jumping back up with a smile and this positive attitude and again, all of my step parents, I've had three key mentors throughout my career. Uh, again, I'm so blessed. And certainly my girls, they are my everything. They're
yeah,
why I do what I do every day. I have a great story for you to that point. They were in about third grade, and I had because we were in a small business, I had the opportunity to walk them to school and pick them up at the end of the day, which was great. I would just get back on the computer and work. But I had an at-home mom on the way we were walking to school say to me, I think it's really a problem. These working moms, I guess she didn't realize I was a working mom. She said, these working moms, we're going to ruin kids. She didn't have to work. And I said, well, most of us don't have the privilege of being a one income family, especially in this area, Washington, D.C. I said, I don't think, I said, I think we serve as good role models. Well, studies show that working moms do build kids that are resilient and are forward thinking and are go-getters. And so I was proud of that. But fast forward just a couple weeks, we get home and it was a Friday afternoon. I used to love that People magazine coming, and I'd sit down with a glass of wine, read my People magazine. The kids were downstairs playing in the family room. My husband comes home at 5 o'clock, and of course they always ran to the door, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And I'm like, they could care less whether I was there. Daddy got this big reading. And they were like pulling on him, Daddy, Daddy, we're hungry. And he looks over at me, sitting over here on the couch right by the front door with my glass of wine and my magazine, like, the kids are hungry. What are you doing? And I said, they haven't said one thing to me about food.
huh?
I had no idea. And so I was like, guys, you didn't say anything to me about being hungry. I'm right here. We could have dinner in a little bit. It was only like 4:30 on a Friday afternoon,
Yeah.
5 o'clock. And and I said, guys, you didn't say anything. And they both, the twins, simultaneously said, well, mommy, you run the business and daddy makes dinner.
Oh. Okay.
And we worked together
Yeah.
running the business. I have
Yeah.
no idea why they said that.
Yeah.
But I said, that's right, girls. And then I looked at my husband like, get to dinner.
Yeah. That's it.
So I love that I was able to serve as that role model for my girls, that
Yeah.
they know we're equal partners in home and in work. And I think that's a beautiful thing for kids to see.
Absolutely. So, what is it when your alarm clock goes off in the morning? What is that energy for you to do all of these things you do? Take care of yourself, your family. What is that for you?
I'm super competitive.
Yeah.
For me right now, running this business, I've been running 5 Foot View for about 2 years now. It's that motivation and that excitement to get up and be successful. I love it. I love what I'm doing. I can't say I've always had that energy. When I had gone out into the corporate space for 12 years, it was exhausting and trying. But I don't mind being a worker. I am a workaholic.
Yeah.
But when it's for my own thing and it's about winning to me and building this successful organization, making my coworkers happy and helping them be successful. I love it. That's my motivation.
So, if you had a dream tonight and ran into a 16-year-old version of you and you had a book in your hands and it was kind of a coffee table book of your life so far, and you handed it over and said, "This is what's happened so far," would that young version of you believe it?
No,
Would you give any advice?
absolutely. I spent so much of my younger years doing doing two things. Doing what I thought other people wanted and needed me to do instead of what I really knew inside. I mean, it turns out that the work I'm doing now is the master's program that I was looking at when I was 22 and I chose not to do because of fear, because I didn't want to take the chance of spending the money for that graduate program, organizational development. That's really what I'm doing a lot of. The other thing that I did was my parents, all of them, and I say all of them again because I have divorced parents, but they're very risk averse. They were of the mindset and the generation that you go get a job and you stick with that job no matter what for however many years and you try and get a good severance and or a 401(k), whatever the case may be. That was never me.
Yeah.
It was never me. And so I made decisions listening to their fears that weren't my fears. And I encourage often people that are thinking about starting a new business, just go for it.
Yeah.
You can always go get a job. You can it has taken me to be almost 55 now to say, okay, there is no harm in opening that door. Guess what? I can walk through it. I
Uh-huh.
can walk back through it. I can do it two more times. I can pick a different door.
Yep.
there is there there was this mindset that your choice was an absolute choice and you couldn't turn back or do something different.
Yeah.
I didn't there wasn't an ability to consider switching schools to play field hockey for another school if I wanted to or something like that. And so I think that thought that you could just change. And I did say to my dad one day, in the corporate space, I was super unhappy. He was like, "You make a great salary and you have great benefits, just suck it up." And I was like, "No, guess what? I don't have to. I'm not happy and my life is too short to not be happy. I'm going to go somewhere else where I feel happy and I enjoy what I do and I wake up with that energy every day." And so that's what I would tell a younger self
Yeah.
is like, stop being afraid.
Yeah.
Just do it. There is no harm.
So, of everything that you've done and accomplished and become, what are you the proudest of?
Women, all my girls,
Yeah.
they are, it is the hardest job in the world, the most rewarding job in the world. And they are the most beautiful people. And I guess that sounds a little boasting. You're making me all choked up. I guess that sounds boastful to say that I'm proud because they are their own human beings. They are this beautiful combination of learning from me and learning from my husband and this new version of themselves that they have an emotional intelligence that is so much greater than I had at their age. And I'm like, wow, where did you get that? Like I learn from them every day. And but we do, my husband and I high five each other all the time and like, oh gosh, we launched them, they have jobs, they have their
Yeah.
own insurance. So I think this concept of we survived and we worked all those years to get them through college and pay for college so that they could start their own life. I'm proud of, yeah, I have some bills, but
Yeah.
I got them. I
That's it.
got them to, they're very happy and successful, and I feel good about that.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, everyone you work with, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Oh gosh, you have such great questions
Thank
that no
you.
one has ever asked me. And I do podcasts a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I believe I am a really kind person. I give 1,000% to everything I do. I care very deeply for people. Um, I want to be a person that is at the end of my life that says, I don't have regrets.
Yeah.
I tried and did. Um, and that I lived a full life. And I actually just think at 55, I'm getting to the space where I'm not working 1,000 hours a week, and I am starting to say, let's live. My husband and I have this opportunity, like, let's go travel, let's meet the world, let's enjoy life. And I'm trying to embrace that and really take advantage of the the beauty that I have. I also don't believe that money makes people happy.
Yeah.
That is a person, that is me very much. Doesn't make people not lonely. It doesn't make people well. It's nice to have, but really it's about the beautiful people that I have around me in my life. And I really try and give and care and show all of those people how much they mean to me.
So Stephanie, if anyone wants to reach out, they want to learn more, hire you, any of the good business, where do they go?
5footview.com. It's the number 5, FT, the word view.com.
Okay, excellent. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
light. Best of luck. Have a great holiday season.
You too. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Thank you.